And all right. But you know this shit's fire. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another live Pendergast podcast. And man, it's an absolute honor to be back. I've been away for 2 weeks. As you guys know, I've been to Texas, just got back from Road America, but it's an absolute honor to sit down today with my friend, Savannah Woodward, all the way from South Africa. What is going on, Savannah?
Hi, how you? I'm good.
I'm doing good. Absolute proper mega day today. I start my new job, I think, at the beginning of May or at the end of this month. I'm actually waiting for them to call me and let me know when. So, yeah, exciting times ahead. But it's an absolute honor to be back doing this again. And I've been so excited to have you on. I've been talking about it since we had scheduled it. It's been several months. But, yeah, here we are. And there's a lot that's happened within those several months. So, yeah, Savannah, I want to get into it. So check it out. Tell us your journey. How did it all begin with you?
Hey, so I live in Gauteng, South Africa, and we live on a plot, which is like a small farm. And my father, at the age of 5, bought me a little Pee-wee 50 and wouldn't let me ride it until my feet touched the ground. So every day I'd run into the garage and be like, hey, I don't fit. And then eventually I went in, and before school, I was like, I'm not going to school today. I'm going to go riding. I must ride. And that's where it started. I kind of crashed into every flower pot and tree and bush that was on the way. So one of our workers said, hey, you know what? If you don't take her to a track, this kid's going to end up becoming a tree. So I think it's best if you take her to a track. And then within a couple of months, I got scouted and they asked me to join back then it was the Yamaha TTR 50 flat track series, which was, I think we had 32 young riders. At my first race, I finished 14th. By the end of the season, I finished the championship in third position, third position out of boys and girls, and then and first out of the females. So yeah, and then I just carried on from there. I did motocross and enduro for 6 years. And then 2012, the South African Motor Racing Academy, one of their scouts reached me out. And I was like, hey, yeah, I'd love to try it out. It'll be something new. And that's where my superbike journey started. And yeah, it's been a whirlwind ride from there. I've ridden internationally. I was one of the first South African females to race internationally with the South African Motor Racing Academy on the Honda NSF 100s. We raced at Assen. Yeah, so it's been a big whirlwind. I've been to Red Bull Rookies. I raced in the Italica Women's World Cup. Last year, I raced at Imola. So yeah, it's been a wild ride.
That's quite a journey right there. I mean, there's a long list of achievements you've created along the way too. But listen, I want to take it back to the beginning, like you said. So your dad bought you a little PW50 and you couldn't ride it until you touched the ground. What kind of mental torture is that, right? Every day you wake up, you go outside, you're like, I can't ride because I'm too short. So you just can't wait for that day when your feet finally hit the ground. And now you're like, it's on. That's it.
And a lot of the times my dad says he wished he just let me get on the bike and ride, but no one in my family rode motorbikes. So my dad didn't know. He was like, no, at least have your feet touched. So if something bad happens, you can at least catch yourself. And now he says he wishes he let me ride as soon as he bought the motorbike for me.
I bet. That is awesome. And we actually have Ben Lee. Ben Lee's a very good friend of mine. He actually lives about an hour and a half down the road. Maybe 2 for me, but he says, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, man, what is going on, Ben? And he says some great tracks to be on for sure. Yeah. So it sounds like Savannah's been all over the world and raced on absolutely proper mega tracks, right? So early days, PW50, you got on it and you're the only one that rode in your family?
Yeah, I'm the only one. I think my uncles rode on road and stuff just for fun, but I'm the first superbike racer and well, any racer of any motorsport. So yeah.
Awesome. I know your parents are proud. Absolutely proud, right? That's absolutely. And do we have, listen, my man Peter Marsh, he's all the way from the UK. He's a very good mate of mine. His son, Jake Marsh, big shout out to Jake, Club 45. You guys can go sign up and join. He races in the GP2 class in British Superbikes. But he says, yo, Chris, been too long without hearing your voice. Hi, Savannah. Yeah, I've actually been away for 2 weeks. I was just telling Savannah, I went to the MotoGP race, and then I turned around and went to the Road Atlanta race, which was the first round of Moto America. And I get to hang out with all my friends. It was absolutely an amazing time. It always is, Savannah, right? When you go to the racetrack and you get to meet all your friends, right? Your racetrack friends. Well, they're actually your friends, right? Not just track friends. Their family is what they are.
Yeah, they become your family.
Absolutely.
My closest friends all come from racing.
And you can't wait to get back and see him, right? Because it's sometimes for me, it's several months in between, but I'm always texting and, calling and all that good stuff. But so first superstar in the family, absolute proper legend, right? You get to PW50 and then you go out there and you start flat tracking on the PW, right? Yeah. And then you got from there, you started properly racing dirt bikes, right? Going out there, beating all the boys up. Yeah.
That was definitely, I was one of very few, I think in my majority of the time, there were only like 2 other girls. So there was no such thing as a little girls class. You rode against the boys and that's what you had.
Which I know taught you a lot, right?
Yeah.
Because boys are super aggressive. Girls are too, though. I mean, I watch you race, all you women out there, and you guys are, to me, a woman is a more natural on a motorcycle. Your guys' body movement and all that, right? It just flows. It's where us, it's like we force it in a sense, if that makes sense, right? But yeah, you guys are, and I love to see you beat up on all the boys.
Yeah, I have on a few times. Yeah, well, a lot of times I have, and I am proud of it. I moved up once I moved to Superbikes. And I graduated from the junior classes, and I got onto the 600. I was competing against a lot of men a lot older than me, and I started racing a 600 at 15, and it was very funny to be a 15-year-old girl beating adult men, and they were not pleased about it. And a lot of guys, and at first, like, it was your junior stages, so you're learning a lot, and as you improve, more people just put more into their motorbikes to make sure they beat you. And as skill develops, they just eventually can't put more into the motorbikes, which is quite funny to watch. That's
awesome. So what do you think about the women's FIM All Championship Final World Superbike this year?
Oh, it is something I actually applied for. Unfortunately, I got, injured last year, so that we had to put on hold, but I'm very excited to see what happens with all the ladies. I know quite a few of the girls that have entered and have got in, so it's going to be really interesting to watch.
Yeah, me too. I got 2 friends that are actually Mallory Dobbs. Big shout out to Mallory Dobbs. Races out here in Moto America over there in the FIM alongside my friend Lizzie Whitmore from the UK. So big shout out to Lizzie Whitmore. It's funny that I got 2 friends across the world and both of them end up on the same team, right? It's yeah, I'm super excited. I think it's great for the sport. Our sport, women need to be accepted just as much as men are accepted, 110%. At the end
it's opening a lot of doors for women in motorsport, because unfortunately it's not as easy for women to get sponsorship to get to where they want to be as it is for guys, even though it's not easy, but still it's opening doors up for females. And I also have 2 girls from South Africa that I know, Jessica Haddon and Nicole van Aswegen, that are competing over there, and I'm really excited to see how they do. I've competed against them both, and I know they're good riders, so I'm excited to see what they do.
Well, good. Big shout out to your 2 friends. I don't even know their name. You just said them. I couldn't repeat them, but big shout out. Listen, I wish them the very best. I wish everybody the very best. Savannah, I get asked who's my favorite rider all the time because I'm friends with with a lot of them, NBSB, Moto America, and they're all my favorite. Like I want them all to do the very best. I want them all to win, right? And I cheer for you, even if you come in dead last. I'm gonna cheer for you just like as if you won the race. I'm gonna put the same emotion into it because you're my friend, right? And I'd rather buy your merch than buy somebody like let's say Pedro Acosta or somebody like that's merch, right? There's somebody that's made it and they've been there where versus the future of the sport, the Cupping people that it's more exciting because you're emotionally attached to it versus just being a fan, right?
Yeah, you can watch their road. It's the Pedro Costas of this world, and even Mark Marquez and all of the MotoGP boys and the guys in World of Sport. We all know them and we love them all, but knowing a rider from their junior ages is something. It's so magical to watch these little juniors like develop, and you like, as a rider, I know what it feels like going through them. So it's so great to see them achieve those little milestones.
It is, and you know what I love about it too, Savannah. It's like Junior Cup's the best, and the reason why I say that is because when the kids, when they do well, they're all emotions. They're crying, tears of joy. When it goes wrong, it's sadness. It's pure drama. It's like the world had just come to an end right then and there, right? It's you feel that energy. You feel that emotion versus somebody that's been in the sport 15 years, 10 years, however long it's been, that's used to winning, right? They don't put that same emotion into it. They're just, they get up there. Yes, they're happy. Don't get me wrong. They're still chasing that, I guess that first shot of adrenaline, that first win, right? It's like you're chasing that same buzz, right? And so when you see them, they're just like, yeah, thanks. I'm happy. Thanks to my team, this and that. Versus you see the future of our sport kids coming up. They're just like, yes, and all the parents are just going buck wild and crazy. And it's emotional.
It's a lot of emotions in it. Yeah,
it is. You're there sobbing, and it's just that's what I love about our sport right there, right? And you see the mom and pops teams, right, and they're giving it their all, and it might be just the dad, it may be the uncle helping out, or the dad and one of his friends, and they're just it's nonstop. People don't realize the work, Savannah, that goes behind even just a one Junior Cup team. There's a lot of work, right? It's so who's on your team, Savannah?
Who's on my team? Well, my dad is one, obviously, who bought me my motorbike, is one of my big supporters. And he helps me with my mechanics and helps me set up my motorbike and all of that. And I can't just really, I have the riding for a limb team. So they're one of the the teams that actually helped me get through one of my injuries in the past. So they're a big part of my team. The South African Motor Racing Academy, I have become one of their coaches, so they're also a part of my team, and I do support them as much as they support me. And a lot of the tracks here in South Africa, you almost become very close to your tracks that are around you, and they also support you a lot. Like I have the Red Star Raceway, the Red Star Raceway team supports me a lot, as well as Swarthof Racing. It's all one big family. So I know I've got a lot of support behind me, not just them, all the people that are track of. We're one big family.
You're right. You are. Every time you said it just right then. It's one big family. You show up to the track and it's just like, hey man, what's going on? It's all just big hugs, not high fives. It's big bear hugs too, right? Like, it's family you ain't seen in a long time. Even if you go ahead.
One thing also, a lot of people that are overlooked but are a big part of my support system are our marshals and the medics. I know all of our marshals and medics personally, and I know every time before I ride, even on a practice session or testing session, I'll go out, I say hello to all the marshals, give a big hug to the medics, because I know since I've been in motorsport for so long and on the track for so long, I've had many of the marshals pick me up off the side of the track, as well as the medics, and they are there And you got to say a big thank you to them, because without them there, we would be nowhere. We wouldn't have what we have without them.
We wouldn't be on the track is where we'd be without them, right? So yes, big shout out. Yeah, that's why I want to get even corner marshals on the podcast, because they play a vital role of our sport, right? It's our happy family circus is what it is, right? We joined this circus. We didn't realize it was a circus at the time until you get behind the tent and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, this is definitely a circus, because you got
to put on one big show.
It is, and yeah, it's fun, it's good, it's emotional, has its highs, its lows, and at the end of the day, you sit back and just smile and love it even more, right? It's it's great. It's so wonderful. But so Savannah, flat tracking, right? Dirt bike racing. What transitioned you into road racing?
Well, actually, a good friend of ours, Jason Vessels, came up to me at a motocross track and he said, "Hey, there's this new championship starting, the Honda NSF 100s with the South African Motor Racing Academy. Would you like to try it out?" And on this day, I had been riding my motocross bike, jumping, blah, 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 and then crash. Pick myself up, dust myself off, get back on, and carry on riding. And he was like, "You know what? You can ride a motorbike and you can handle yourself. So what about trying something new?" And that's where I did the switch over to superbikes. But for me, it was for the first, I'd say, 2 years. I was I was slow, to be honest. It confused me a lot with the motocross riding is so much different to superbike riding that I was like, I don't understand. And I had been on a motocross bike for 6 years prior, so it was a big change for me. The gears were different ways around. Your riding style, you go from elbows up to elbows down, tucked in, elbows out. It was something very confusing to me, but I eventually got there and I started doing well. And with the South African Motor Racing Academy, I was one of 10 South Africans chosen to go compete against the boys in Holland, boys and girls in Holland. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, sometimes you hear that the stories transitioning from motocross to road racing is a little bit difficult, but a lot of times people just jump right over and it's like click, they just click with it. So your journey was a little bit difficult transitioning over, but once you got it and you started beating up on them boys, you was like, this is it, right? So when you started, Savannah, and you say superbike class, was it more like a junior cup kind of deal?
Yeah, it was a junior cup, yeah.
Okay, so like 400 cc's?
100 cc. So it was really small bikes, 100 cc motorbikes. The age range was 7 to 13. So it's a very young class, and it's your newbies you start to get learning on what to go. You get the feel of a superbike, and you learn a lot of racing. And I must be honest, Uncle Neil Harron, who runs the South African Motor Race Academy, put a lot of effort into me, as well as Heinz Skippers. They helped me get to where I am today.
Big shout out to them. Absolute big shout out. Thank you guys so much for giving Savannah, which is a legend. You're a legend, Savannah. Absolute, dude. I love it. I love your story. This is great. I have another question, but first we have a comment from Wasim. What is going on, Wasim? He says, "Nice to see Savannah Woodward live. She's a very talented and professional biker. Best wishes from us at RBS Gear."
Thanks, Wasim. It's good to hear from you guys.
Yeah, he's awesome. Absolute awesome. So the NSF, which is you guys' junior cup, you spent 2 years in there. What was your best result in the category?
My best result, I finished third in the championship against the boys on the short circuit series, which is we competed on go-kart circuits on a superbike, and I came third, and I was really proud of myself. And it took a lot of hard work to get there.
I bet. So let me ask you this: at that young of an age, and you were beating up on the boys, did you start getting picked on at boys at that? Even then, they're like, you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. They would, as you were about to say, like that you don't belong here. You're a girl. But for me, as I had already started with motocross at a really even younger age, it was like okay. And it's not like I haven't heard this before. I came third in my first championship when I was 6. So I was like, okay, if you say I don't deserve to be here or I don't belong here, this has been my sport. And a lot of the times I had been on a motorbike a lot longer than the other boys had been. So I was like, I don't know what you're saying. If I don't belong here, I wouldn't be getting the results I'm getting.
Right. Yeah. That's just more fuel for your fire, right? You're like, okay, keep talking that trash. I'm
Yeah.
gonna hand it to you next race for sure. You're number one on my list. Yeah, absolutely. So 2 years NSF 100. What was the next step in your road racing journey?
Connected and went on to the CBR 150 class, which I did a good well in as well. She also came third, I think, in my second year. Also, second year of the 150s, I came third, and then I moved up to 250s, which was that class. It was more challenging because now it's a bigger bike, but I can't remember. It was so long ago. I finished fourth in that championship. I just missed out on third by a couple of points. It was devastating. So I know, like you said earlier, you know those juniors where they like get so emotional about not making that small little getting that small point to win a championship, and you're so emotional over something that seems so small to more competitive riders.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's also you went from there to the CBR 250. After that transition, where did you go?
I was actually on a Ninja 250. We had a Ninja
Okay.
250 class. And then from there at 15, I was invited by one of our national teams to try out a CBR 600. And I was like, well, okay, let's go. And I did really well at first. At first, it was, well, not really well. I did okay, and I impressed the team well. So I joined their team. I joined the Monroe Racing team, I learned a lot from their team, and it went from being a junior racer, just having my dad in my back corner and to support me, to having your whole team, your suspension crew, your telemetry crew. It was something completely different, and that's where I learned a lot of my riding was working. Now, not only just riding and trying to work with your bike and fight your bike to get it to go fast, but then, hey, wait, if you change setup, you'll get different results.
Yeah, so that's absolutely, you're 100% right. So going from having just your dad around you and a couple friends to a full-fledged team, like you just said, telemetry, suspension, and you're thinking to yourself, what do I do? What am I doing here? Right? Is this really happening?
Yeah.
How long did it take you to transition into that role, and where you felt really comfortable?
It took about, let's say, 6 months to a year. At first, it felt, well, yeah, it was more around like 6 months or so, just like learning the basics, making a relationship with the team, and knowing how to communicate with the bike was doing. Because you're saying, yeah, the front's chattering, where it's actually not doing that. It's doing something else, and it's actually sliding or tucking. And to understand how to communicate with your suspension guys and your telemetry guys what is going on. Because you can say one thing and they'll go, but your tire is saying something else.
Yeah.
So how can that be happening? Or your telemetry is not saying that. So it was a lot to learn, but I caught on pretty quickly. And I must be honest, I had a good team who helped me learn a good way to communicate with them to find the best results.
Yeah, I feel like that would be pretty challenging mentally, especially when you get back and you're like, okay, the front's doing this, and like, but your data's saying it's doing this, and you're like, okay, well, maybe I'm just not fast enough to feel it doing that, right? How did you overcome that?
For me, how I overcame that from my junior starting in superbike riding, how I wrote everything down. I made notes on everything. So how a corner would, how I change lines, how I'll change my body position. So from already doing that from a young age, going and then adding that to now learning what I'm feeling on the bike and what the bike's actually doing helped me a lot starting that very young. So I'm actually a coach now. So a lot of the times I tell my kids, hey, if you're feeling upset on the day, write that down. If you change tire pressure, say that and tell me how it feels. Did your brakes feel different? Did you change your braking point? Did you change your apex? What did you do to make yourself go faster? And that's what helped me get better.
That's absolutely. So I know you're a coach. I definitely want to get into that. But so from you stayed with the team for the 600. How did you actually do in that category?
I did well in the Extreme Festival. There was a slower class. It was the Bridgestone, the Bridgestone Silverstone Nuts and Bolt class, and I got kicked out of that class because you get categorized in a class according to your times. I got kicked into Thunder Bikes and to the faster class. I finished second in my championship, and the following year I finished first in the ladies class in that. So yeah, I did really well. Eventually, I got scouted by one of the social media marketing guys from Fox Lubricants that were actually my sponsor at the time. They scouted me and they said, hey, we'd like you to come to Mugello to do social media video for us. And that was a once in a lifetime. I had Lorenzo Lanzi help me around the track, and he taught me so much about the track, and I could go out in any session I wanted because it was their official practice day. So it was amazing to ride the Mugello circuit. I think I did 3 days at Mugello. I ended up as the fastest 600 on the day, and I was female, so I kind of felt like, woo, it was quite cool.
Listen, Mugello is one of my favorite racetracks, so you got to walk me through what it feels like riding Mugello. It's such a beautiful, magnificent racetrack, and I love playing it. I've never been there, but on the PS5 or PS4, even back in the PS2 days when they had the motorcycle racing games, it was on there. It was it's such a beautiful place. So what's the emotions like riding on that beautiful track? It's legendary too.
Leading up to riding there, I watched a lot of videos on track, like onboard videos, played a lot of games involving it. And I was like, okay, I'm ready. I understand. I got there, and it was completely different to what I expected. The elevation is out of this world. The first turn, it feels like you're climbing a mountain and you can't see where you're going. And it's huge. Comparing our South African tracks, yes, we've got Kyalami, which was a MotoGP circuit. That is nowhere compared. Mugello, it's huge. Like your track space, you have so much space, and you're going up and down and up and down, and you're like, where am I going? It's from learning the track by video and then getting there. I was like, wait, where am I? Am I to the left, right? Where do I go? Luckily, on my first day, I had Lorenzo Lanzi riding out in front of me, so I could follow him, at least tag onto him and see where he was going, and he taught me a lot about the track. My first day, I only rode at the end of the day because Mugello, it's a weird track because it's in like a basin. There is a basin, and it's got two mountains on both sides. It can be raining in one sector and sunshine in the other sector. So they were like, we don't know how you seem to ride good considering the photos, but we never physically seen you ride, so we're not going to let you go out your first session in the rain. So I had to wait the whole day because one sector was raining, and then it would clear up there and it would rain in another sector. And I was just like, please just let me go out. I can ride in the rain. I'll be fine. And they were like, no, we're not letting you out on a track that you don't know for a promotional video in the rain. No, because you're going to fall and there's going to be a big mess up. So eventually by the end of the day, I could go out, and I just came back with my eyes like, I just rode Mugello.
I know, right? Especially coming out the last corner. What gear are you in coming out that last corner before the straight? Like third?
Yeah.
third, and then coming down that long straight, and you got that hump right there. Yeah, the whole way, and then you come with the break. Yeah, because like all tracks, Savannah, we always know you see them on TV for years, you played them on video games, and you show up and you're like, holy shit, look how steep this hill is, right? Same thing with Magello. You gave a great impression, and I assume the whole track's like that too, right?
Yeah. You got your first sector that's uphill, and then you go down into your second sector. It goes from this to this, and then the whole track is up, down, and I enjoyed it a lot because it reminded me a lot of one of our go-kart circuits, go-karts and main circuits that we have. We have Daisy and Idui that are on the side of a mountain, and they are two of my favorite tracks here in South Africa. So I loved it. I was like, this is like a bigger version of my two favorite tracks at home.
Let's go, right? You're like, yes, I want to ride this all year long. Yeah. Good stuff. Good. So you mentioned South Africa, where you're from. I have several mates actually that live over there too as well. But I want to talk about Welcome, the racetrack Welcome, right? So that's where MotoGP used to go. And who will never forget April 18th, 2004, Welcome, South Africa, the legendary race when Valentino Rossi was the first time on the Yamaha and won. I'll never forget that day. It's like embedded right here in my brain. Never forget it. I miss that track. It was such a beautiful track.
It's such a pity. I love that track. It's such a fast and flowing track. Unfortunately, it hasn't been kept up to the best standards and maintained very well. So there's a lot of places where actually even our South African championships are saying that might not be the best idea to race them. So we're hoping that somebody comes in and jumps in and revamps the track, because what it was in 2004, nothing's been really rebuilt, or it's basically the same track as it was back then, but it's lacking in maintenance. So it's really sad. It's a track where I love, and I had one of my first big superbike crashes there. I dislocated my shoulder, and I don't know how the marshals forgot to radio in the tower, and they kind of lost me. The marshals called the ambulance to come and fetch me, and the tower didn't know I crashed. So my mom, it was the first race I did without my dad being there, because he had to he was on business in another country. And so my mom was like, okay. So this was on the little NSF junior bikes, and everyone came in. My mom was like, wait, where's my kid? Asking everyone. They were like, no, she's here somewhere. And eventually they found me out. I was lying in the medic center with a dislocated shoulder that had been relocated. It was a big mission. So yeah, that track has a lot of memories for me. I love it for my own personal reasons, never mind the fact that that's where MotoGP went. So
that's awesome. You're like, hi guys, I'm here. It's
by the way, my shoulder. So
Can we go now, please? Yeah.
Guys.
Absolutely. Okay, so from the 600, you're out there giving it to all the guys again, right? You end up second, and then where did you go from there?
From there, I got scouted from the Italica Women's World Cup by Chicho Lorenzo, and they had been watching my social media, and they were like, wait, her results are doing really well. They had seen me out in Mugello. I had also done the Red Bull Rookies tryouts. Unfortunately, I didn't get in, but hey, it was a great experience to ride Guadix and ride in Spain. I also went to go watch World Supersport there at Jerez, so it was really cool. But unfortunately, I didn't get in, but the Italica Women's World Cup had invited me over, and first I got this message saying, hey, we'll give you an all-paid trip to come and ride in Mexico. And I was like, wait, Mexico? That's a bit of a... Like, you wouldn't think go racing in Mexico of all places. But we did some asking and reaching out. So I'm like, okay, wait, it is a real thing. We contacted Chicho Lorenzo, Jorge Lorenzo's father, and he was like, yeah, it is real. I am the person that is actually reaching out to you. And so, I went out and I competed in the Italica Women's World Cup.
That is proper mega, right? Jorge Lorenzo's dad. So what's he like?
Um, he's actually he can be very strict when you're riding, but a very nice person at the same time. So away from the track, a very nice person. At track, very strict. This is how you do things. Don't mess around. Racing's racing. This is your job. This is what you do.
Yeah. I mean, look at the legend he created, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went down to Mexico and raced. How was that?
It was on Italica Vortex 650s. Sorry, and it was a different motorbike altogether. It was like a motard / road bike. It was something completely different, but I had raced motards back here in South Africa on the short circuit, so I kind of had a feel to the bike and I learned a lot. But riding new tracks every race was something. It was, you get there, you can only study a track map because a lot of the races in Mexico you can't find onboard footage, so you don't know the track. You have 3 days. Oh no, it was 3 days practice before. And then they go racing Saturday, Sunday.
So yeah, I couldn't imagine being in a new country, new tracks that I can't even watch on YouTube or play on a PlayStation, right? So how did you learn them? What was your best way besides the track map?
Our best way was we had instructors go out in front of us in the first session, and we had Jorge Martin help us, and Chicho Lorenzo, he sat there. No, Jorge Martin, Jorge Perez, he was an old past rider from Spain. He also was there helping us a lot. And Chicho Lorenzo sat there and was like, hey, this is what you do. Unfortunately, so we had a five race season. In my last race, I had a really, really bad crash that put me back a year, but it happens. And I'm just hoping to push forward, and yeah.
You will absolutely be back whooping up on the boys before you know it, right? So all you boys listening, or that's going to listen to this on Spotify and iHeart and all that good stuff, watch out, because Savannah is coming back, and it's going to be trouble. Absolute trouble, right? So listen, riding, racing, growing up, it's an absolute proper story. Thank you so much for sharing it with me. I absolutely enjoyed it. So going from road racing to coaching. So how did all this come out to be? Was it the whole time? Like, let me ask you this, Savannah. At what point did you think to yourself, you know what, I would like to coach sometime? You know, is it something that you actually put some thought into for a while, or is it just kind of, hey, I'd like to give that a try, spur of the moment, kind of hit you at one time in your head and was like, yeah, let's do it?
It was kind of a more, okay, let's do it. When I was racing overseas in the Italica Women's World Cup, the championship, I started out in the South African Motor Racing Academy. They said, hey, can you come? They do a lot of camps and that. So they'll do a week camp at the track where the kids sleep at the track and then they ride. And they're like, can you please be one of our coaches? And I was like, I'd love to. I work really well with kids just in general. I love children. So they were like, hey, it'll come in. Can you come help us out? We need an extra coach. So I helped coaching them. And then I had my injury, which put me out of racing for a year. 2019, unfortunately, I was medically unable to ride. And I was like, the best way for me to stay part of racing is if I coach, because at least I can help other kids reach where they want to go and do it in a way that's safe. So a lot of times with me learning with my riding, not coming from a family that does racing, it would be, okay, get on, try. And unfortunately, a few times I did get hurt. So I try and help the kids I coach how to ride fast but safely so that they don't get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, and you're helping the future of the sport. How could you not love that, right? It's like, big shout out to my man, Michael Carrera in the SFL Mini GP in South Florida. He does the same thing over here in America, right? So big shout out to my man, Julian Carrera, that just won his first British Talent Cup race. No, yeah, let's go, Juju, man. That's my boy right there, right? So, but that's where Juju come from, right? Big shout out to Avery, the Lap Slayer Dreyer. He won the 2023 Junior Cup in Moto America. That's exactly where he come from, right? There's actually a lot of kids in Junior Cup. A lot of my friends coming from SFL Mini GP, which is exactly the same thing you're doing out there in South Africa, working with young kids. And so being a coach in your guys' program, do you guys provide leather suits and helmets and all that to, like, basically you just show up, registrate, pay your registration fee, all that good stuff, and then go get fitted for leathers and boots and all that good stuff, and then
Yeah, because obviously, leathers and kits is rather expensive.
Yep.
So a lot of parents go, if I invest so much money in a kid that only wants to ride once or twice, or maybe rides and goes, nah, I don't like it, which doesn't happen often. But, parents don't want to invest so much in a hobby, which 9 out of 10 times it does become a love for the sport, because come on, who doesn't love racing? So we do supply leathers and kits, full kits from head to toe, to make sure the kids are safe, and they can try out, and then within their first year they're like, hey, okay, cool, let's do this, and they commit fully.
I love it. And I couldn't imagine the satisfaction you get out of seeing, especially a kid's progression, right? So over here in SFL Mini, I mean, it's not just for kids too. It's all ages of people who can actually come and learn the racecraft, right, and how to do it properly and safe. And there's a lot of people that come and never drug their knee, and they're like, I just want to drag my knee, and they show up. By the end of the day, they're dragging their knee, and next thing you know, they're hooked. They're like, okay, and they go out and they get a leather suit and boots and gloves and all that good stuff, and go out and buy whatever, right, whatever bike, a CRF 50 or a 100 or whatever. And to me, that's the most fun racing is the small bikes in the small class. It's a lot of fun.
I must be honest, one of my students, Shan, he is 50, to be honest, so he's in the older range, but he has been riding for a long time, and he's been racing for a couple of years, and all he's been wanting to do is get his knee down. And he rides a R1, and I said to him, okay, you know what, let's not start trying to get the basics down on an R1, because it's so quick. To try and think of what you need to do at that speed is really difficult. So I have a Ninja 250. I said, come ride my own personal bike. It's got crash bombers on. The fairings are off. If you crash it, it's okay. It is what I call my crash bike. It's my training bike. I said, okay. And we did 2 training sessions. By his second training session, he got his knee down for the first time. He was so ecstatic. I've got the video. He puts his knee down, got such a fright, sat up, and we all screaming yeah, you got your knee down. And he looks, he was like, no, I didn't get my knee down. I was like, look, it's on video. You got your knee down.
And who could never forget the first time you get your knee down, right? I mean, that's also inbred. It's something you'll never forget, and it's like you try, and then one day you go out and you're like, man, I ain't even going to think about it. I'm not even going to focus on it. And next thing you know, you're dragging left and right everywhere. And you're like, this is a lot of fun right here, right? Yeah. Good stuff. Well, listen, Savannah, this is awesome. We're coming on almost 44 minutes into this. I would like to get away from all the motorcycle talk. I want to get to the second part of my interview, which it's always been my favorite. It's where we get to know Savannah on a personal level. So, and also, I do want to touch on what else do you watch? Do you watch any British Superbike or World Superbike or MotoGP or any of that?
I watch MotoGP, of course. We've got South African boys in. I do try to watch a lot of World Supersport. Never mind, we've got a lot of our junior riders, a lot of riders I've actually coached in the Red Bull Rookie Cup. 2 South African riders are in there this year. We've got in the European Junior Cup, the young Diego's in there this year. I've also helped him out in the past, and I know his family very well. So I do try to keep eyes on a lot of riders that I know from South Africa that are in the junior sport. Never mind a lot of the lady riders that compete in the Women European Championship, where I competed in last year. I knew them from the Italian Women's World Cup, so I watched them. So yeah, I do try to keep track on a lot of our riders. I must be honest, I'm rather proud. We are getting more and more South Africans out on the European side. We've got in the CRV Championship, the CEV Championship. So we're starting to spread our wings and get South African riders out there internationally.
That's awesome. I mean, you guys got Matty Skoltz over here, right? He's an absolute proper legend, right? He's doing good on the 600 too. To be honest with you, I thought after all those years on the super bike that he would actually struggle a little bit transitioning from a super bike to a super sport machine, just because it's an absolute total different machine to ride. It's all about corner speed. It has no power. It's the way you ride it, your riding style. I mean, it's a complete different animal, right? It sounds easy, yeah, it's 1,600,
Yeah.
but he's absolutely did a mega job this weekend. So yeah, big shout out to Matty Skoltz. Glad to see that he's
Maddie,
still here.
I must be honest, I've known Maddie for a really long time. He actually coached me back when I was on NSF 100. So I know Maddie very well, and I look up to him a lot because he was my coach when I was in the junior leagues. And he was one of the coaches that also helped my riding go from really slow to not so slow to kind of getting quick. So yeah, he is a rider he rides really well. As well as we've got other riders all over, and yeah.
That's awesome, Matt. Yeah, Maddie's an absolute animal beast. I love it. I'm a huge fan. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of Brad Bender. I like his style. You know, I always like because everybody thinks he's the underdog, and he's so fast. I mean, when he gets it right, it's yeah.
Once he gets it right, he showed it back on Moto3 where he started on the back of the grid and finished the race in first. Like when he gets dialed in, he can do some amazing work. So I just hope soon that he can get it dialed in with the MotoGP bike and he can do as well as he did back in Moto2. Well, not even Moto2 because he skipped that, but back in Moto3.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Me too. And you know what? He'll get there. I mean, KTM obviously wholeheartedly believe in it. I mean, they gave him a 4-year deal, right? And didn't they just he's still got a 2-year deal, so his contract's not up for another 2 years. So yeah. All right. That's awesome. So let me ask you this, Savannah. Tell us something we don't know about you.
Oh, something so believe it or not, okay, yes, I started out motorbike riding very young, but from young, I also did dancing. I did hip hop and modern, and that kind of took a break. I used to do dancing. I competed. I did live shows at a very young age. I sold out to shows at like casinos and stuff with obviously my dancing crew. But then motorsport happened and everything kind of went for a break. So my girly side it never really was there, to be honest. I always had a more adventurous side. I wouldn't say masculine side, but an adventurous side. I was always the little girl that was climbing trees and doing things. So yeah, I started the dancing side, but of course, motorbikes took over.
That's all. I didn't know that. A dancer, right? Yeah, that's all. I've never been a dancer. I can't dance worth nothing, right? Yeah, so that's awesome. Did not know that. It's good stuff. Good stuff. So, Savannah, what's your worst habit?
Oh, my worst habit. I don't know. Oh, worst habit. I don't even really have. I enjoy the gym a lot, but I can be really lazy at the same time.
Right. Hey, everybody has a little lazy side to them every once in a while, you know? So yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this. If you can invite 3 people to any track day, any 3 people in the world, that could be racers, it could be movie stars, it could be family, it could be anybody. What 3 people are you taking to this track day, and what track is this track day going to be at?
Okay, first, one of my good friends that I train a lot with, well, I have trained a lot with in the past, is Bjorn Esman. I've had a lot of fun times on track with him. Darren Lorero, he's a crazy rider. Him and I, when we were younger, we used to train a lot together. And of course, Brad Bender, I've coached a lot with him. So yeah, those 2. And they're all international riders and people I know personally. So on a personal level, I know off track, we'd have a lot of fun, a lot of conversations, but on track, I know they're people I can trust with riding, but we'll have a lot of fun at the same time.
That's Bjorn, he's actually Brad Bender's second-hand man. Yeah, I know him too as well. I met him. See, the first time I met him, we was actually friends on Facebook. Was it the first time I went to COTA? I think I've been to Coda 6 times. I think it was the first year I went. Might have been the second. And I was like, yo, man, I'm going to Coda. I got a pit pass, so I want to meet you, right? So I ended up meeting them. And yeah, ever since then, we've been friends. I meet him every year at Coda. And then when I was at Cadwell Park, I turn around and he's standing right there. I was like, bro, what is up, man? Right? Yeah, what is going on? Yeah, so he's absolute legend himself. Yeah, good stuff. That's awesome. All right, so let me ask you this: if Savannah had her own island, her own personal island where your house was, right, and you could have one racetrack on your island, what racetrack would you have?
Oh, I know there's a lot of amazing international tracks. Like, I absolutely loved Imola because of the elevation, all that. But a track that a lot of people internationally won't know, but South Africans will know, is a Dewey Raceway. It's on the side of a mountain. It's a crazy go-kart circuit that it's extremely fast and has so many blind sides. You go over a hill and you lift the front wheel going up and over. So yeah, it would be a Dewey Raceway.
I love it. I love it. What's your favorite movie?
Oh. One movie that when I was younger really fascinated me and I loved the graphics was Avatar, surprisingly.
Have you seen the second one?
Yeah.
Oh. Did you
The
like
first
it?
one was cool though, but it's still cool, but the first Avatar just had something special to it. It was very magical and I thought it would look cool. Everything was like cool. It was like underwater in real life. So that was what I thought was cool.
I like Avatar. When I first seen it, it was one of those movies that was like ahead of its time. It was completely different, right? The way that they shot it, all the colors and the animation going on. It was, yeah, it was psychedelic, pretty much, right? It was a wild ride. It was a great movie. It really was. Great movie. Good choice. So, Savannah, I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I don't read so much. I am reading a book though. A buddy of mine, you might actually know him, Andy Ibbott, out there in the UK. He's a writer coach too. He actually sent me this book right here. So I'm actually reading this one physically with my eyes reading, but I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Do you yourself read or listen to audiobooks?
I do. I'm trying to think of the book's name. It's a book that actually helped me a lot through recovery. It's about, no, I can't remember the name exactly. I do apologize. It's about the power of your brain and how you can use your mental state to physically heal. What's it called? It's
like meditation.
Yeah, how you use meditation and all that. It's about the writer's story of how he broke his back, and through meditating, he physically rebuilt his back. Whether true or not, I don't know, but it's a really in-depth story of how he himself did it, and then other people through sickness and stuff, how they meditate to improve their health. And I personally believe it is something true because I had a traumatic brain injury where I was paralyzed on the right hand side of my body, and through some not just that, yes, medical help as well. A lot of it was a lot of working and a lot of meditating that helped me get to where I am now. Like I'm moving.
That is absolutely amazing, Savannah. And you're right. There's a lot that's why I'm always putting positive energy out there. And when I meet people, I'm like, it's not a pleasure. It's an absolute honor to meet you. Right. There's a lot saying if you put it out there, it will happen. Right. The more you put it out there, the more you think it, the more the positive you are, the more you close your eyes and you just, live in the moment and realize the moment, even if the moment hadn't happened yet, and see it happening. And
it happens.
Absolutely happens. Right. So other than that, you're not currently listening to any audiobooks or reading a book?
Not at the moment, to be honest. I've just finished my international teaching diploma. So yeah, I've I've done my sports management course, my sports management diploma. So I've been doing a lot of school stuff and all that. I read here and there, but not at the moment. No, not really.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, congratulate her. Yeah, that's a big step. Good. Proud of you. Absolutely. So listen, I'm gonna give you a book recommendation. Okay. There's a lot of books out there, but when it comes to motorcycles, you got to listen to John Hopkins' Leathered.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
It's one of those books that I love it when it don't even have to be a racer, just a person puts it all out there, tells the whole story, 100% genuine. Love it or hate it, right? It's such a great, you could thank me later. Absolutely. So podcasts, Savannah, do you listen to any podcasts? And if so, what podcast are you listening to? I know a lot of people like true crime podcasts, right?
Yeah. Actually, one podcast I do listen to that actually I listen to when I go to sleep. It tells a lot of like stories. Is the Mr. Baldwin show. It does a lot of stuff, like it tells a lot of like strange stories that have happened that like you wouldn't think are true but has happened. So yeah, that's what I listen to. Actually puts me to sleep, not because it's boring, just because he speaks so like calm and like it's interesting stuff, but I go to sleep.
It's his voice. That's awesome. I love it. So Brennan Triplett, yes, it was. He says, I love the shirt. It was an awesome weekend. He's talking about my shirt right here. So big shout out to my man Ryan Wolf, the Wolf Pack. Thank you guys so much for letting me be a part of your guys' team last weekend at Road Atlanta. We actually got 2 second place finishes. Let's go. Absolutely leading the championship right now. So, yeah, I just got to throw that. I was going to throw it out there anyway. But, yes, this is the shirt, the Wolf Pack, baby. Absolutely. Music. Savannah, what kind of music do you listen to?
Music. I listen to a lot of different things. I'm so bad with song names and all of that. I like the what's the song I like? I forgot the name.
Like, do you listen to like country, rock, classic music, rap, Frank Sinatra, stuff like that? Or
I listen to like rap and like older rap. I do enjoy that.
So who's your favorite older rapper?
Oh. Let me check on my phone because I'm so bad with names.
This is awesome. You're good.
I'm like that person that goes, you know that person with the face that's in the movie? Yeah, that's me.
Right. You're like, which one? Because there's about 400 of them in the movie.
ask me motorbike riders, then maybe. But otherwise, yeah, I'm the type of person that like goes, oh, this song's nice. I like this one. Like I enjoy Metallica, that type of thing, or not just only rap. Death Leopard a little bit.
Who's your favorite musician? Let me ask you that.
Favorite musician? Now that's a hard one.
It is.
I'm not too sure. I think I'd say Metallica.
I love Metallica. Absolutely. They got such a they're different than most rock bands anyway. You know, that feeling they give you. It's good answer. I love it. I love Metallica. Good stuff. So let me ask you this, Vanna. Do you have a favorite comedian?
Comedian?
Yeah.
He's a South African comedian. South Africans will know him very well. Leon Schuster. His old stuff was really funny, and if you're a South African, you'll get it. If you're not, you won't. It's all based around South African humor, which is really funny. But it's one of those things you have to be a South African to understand it, or know South African humor and concepts to understand it.
I got you. I got you. Well, good stuff. Good stuff. So growing up, was you a Star Wars fan?
No.
No. Are you a DC or Marvel fan?
Marvel a little bit. I wasn't big into TV. I was more of a kid that enjoyed being outdoors. As we
Yeah.
live on a small farm, I had the animals outside. I wanted to be outside as much as possible. That's why motorbikes and motocross fitted in so well. My best time was being out on track, being outside.
Yeah, I was outside all the time too when I was a little kid for sure. Absolutely. It was it. Until the Nintendo come out, the first Nintendo, and yeah, man, I just gave away my age. But yeah, I played the first Nintendo because I remember my dad bought it. So that was but I still was the outside kid for sure. So Savannah, food. I love to cook. Do you love to cook?
I enjoy cooking. Do I say love it? No, I enjoy cooking weird things. Well, not weird things, different things for me. Like something you won't usually see on like your dinner plate. Like yesterday, I made bread for the first time because why not? When
You
it's
made
something
what?
different, bread.
Oh, okay. I thought you said brains. I was like, wait, what? Did I hear that right?
No, bread. But yeah, I enjoy baking, but cooking on a daily basis, not so much. But doing different things, yeah. With cooking, I do enjoy it.
Well, let me ask you this, Savannah. What's your favorite food?
Ooh, favorite food. I love pizza.
Everybody loves pizza, Savannah.
Pizza or sushi?
Sushi. I love sushi too. So what's your favorite sushi?
I like salmon roses or California rolls.
Yeah, me too. They're good. Philly rolls. Yeah, I do. I like sushi. But I like do you like spicy food?
Yeah, I love Indian food.
Me too. I love Indian Thai food. I don't eat a lot of American food because I like all the other stuff better, right? Of course, I love pizza. Who don't love pizza? So let me ask you this with pizza. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
No.
No.
But rather not.
Have you ever grilled pineapple?
No, I haven't tried that.
Oh, you need a grill. You need to throw some pineapple on a grill.
Okay.
Again, you can thank me later. For real, you can be like, "This is awesome." Have you grilled peaches?
No, that's not.
Savannah, listen, you guys in South Africa, I'm telling you right now, get your peach, get your pineapple, take the pit out of the peach, a little olive oil on it, okay, throw it on a grill, just not very long, you just want the char marks on it, right? Do you whatever pork chops, if you like pork chops or chicken, and take you a slice of that peach and a slice of that chicken to eat at the same time. Same thing with the pineapple. It's absolutely amazing. Again, you can text me and thank me later.
Will do.
You guys. Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this, Savannah, everybody's got one. Celebrity crush. Like how she sat back on that one. She's like, let me think about this one. Hold up. There's a lot of them. How can I narrow this one down?
This one's a hard one.
It is.
This is again names. He plays in The Matrix. What's his name?
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. I must be honest. At Magello, I met Keanu Reeves.
No way.
Hey, let me tell you what happened. So our videographer said, "Hey, there's someone I want you to meet." So I go up to this little 16-year-old kid, and I meet Keanu Reeves. I don't know. And it's like, let me introduce you to someone. This is Keanu Reeves. I'm like, hi, what up? I'm Savannah. Dude is the chillest dude under the sun. And I was like, okay. He was like, yeah, you guys will take a photo together. And I was like, okay, cool. We eventually ended up chatting about our riding. I was like, oh, you're struggling in this corner. Try this, try that. We had this whole big fat conversation about riding. I didn't even realize who I was talking to. We walked away and our videographer was like, you know who you just spoke to? I was like, Keanu Reeves. Wasn't that his name? He's like, yes, but you know where he's from? I was like, I don't know. Am I supposed to? And he was like, you know the guy from The Matrix? I was like, no, wait. I was like, oh my god, because this is me. I'm so bad with names and like faces, and you wouldn't expect to meet him. And yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just met him. And I just had this big bad conversation about racing and riding motorbikes because he was riding the Nintendo as well.
That's also I'd have ran straight back to the bigs. Be like, Keanu, dude. Listen, Savannah, he's my favorite actor. Always has been. Huge Keanu Reeves fan. He's somebody that I've always wanted to meet. So hopefully one day I put it out there every year. I'm gonna meet Keanu. So one day I'm gonna run into you, Keanu. And I don't care about the movies and all that. I'm not interested in that. I want to talk about motorcycles. That's what I want to talk about. Forget the movies. Yes. Do I love Neo? Absolutely. Who don't love the Matrix and Johnny Utah? Right? I mean, I can go on and on with Keanu, right? That's good stuff. See, Savannah, I knew I liked you a lot. I like you a whole lot more. No, I'm just joking. I like you. Yeah, that's good. Good stuff. Good stuff. So let me ask you this: what advice would you give your younger self?
Have fun with riding. It will be the best thing that has ever happened to you. Enjoy every moment of it. Yeah, and enjoy every success and every failure because it teaches you something. A failure is not a failure; it's a lesson.
Absolutely. And try to live in the moment because so people fail to do that, even me included, right? And Curtis, my man Curtis Woodworth, big shout out to him and Isaac Woodworth in the Junior Cup. They absolutely killed it this weekend. He says Point Break. Yes, Point Break is the best movie ever. It's absolutely. That's why I say Johnny Utah, right? It's absolute skydiving, bank robbing, surfing, girls. Yeah, what's not to love? I mean, come on, what's not to love, right? So what series are you watching? Are you watching a particular series on TV?
At the moment, I'm watching The Gentleman. It's been something kind of different. It's been a crazy series that kind of like hooked me, believe it or not.
Nice. Me and my wife, we actually just started Ozark. Everybody keeps telling me Ozark. So we actually started Ozark, which is you should watch that. It's the first 2 episodes are crazy. I'm not gonna give nothing away, but it's pretty good. So
crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So what other sports are you into, Savannah? Like me, I watch soccer, football, the real football. Did you watch anything? Basketball or
being a South African, rugby is a big thing in our country, so I do watch our international rugby games, a bit of local rugby as well. Like Go Bokke, we won the World Cup, so come on. Otherwise, not really. I watch a bit of car racing here and there, but not really. Mostly just superbiking and a little bit of rugby, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I watch soccer. I do watch some car racing every once in a while, Formula One every once in a while. Yeah. It's as soon as it starts to get boring, I'm like, okay, I had enough of that. I'll go play PlayStation or something, or go clean my bike or something like that.
It's nothing like superbike racing.
Absolutely not. So let me ask you this: PlayStation or Xbox?
I like PlayStation, to be honest.
Yes.
I used to enjoy Xbox, but I've kind of turned to the PlayStation side.
You come to the dark side. I love it. Yes. So what game are you playing right now?
I forgot what it's called. It's a car game where you do laps and you try to get the fastest time. And for me, as a superbike rider, it's so difficult because I'm trying to take superbike lines and it doesn't work. What's it called?
Gran Turismo?
Yes. And you're like, I just want to get the right line. And for me, I'm riding a superbike line, which doesn't work on cars. So, but I'm getting there.
You play on the PS5?
Yes.
Listen, when we get off here, I exchange gamer tags with all my friends from around the world, and I play that game too as well. So we'll have to get on there sometime together and play for sure because I love to race. Yeah, Gran Turismo, man, it's such a great game. It's and I also play Ride. Like Ride 5, Ride 4.
Ride 5, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Gran Turismo, but for motorcycles. It's one of the best games that's ever made. It's absolutely amazing. So, Savannah, favorite racer growing up. Who's your favorite racer growing up, and who is your favorite racer right now?
Favorite racer growing up, of course, the limelight of all, Valentino Rossi. Like, of course, like he was the rider that changed from old style to new style, still kept it on two wheels. Then obviously I met in meeting Chicho Lorenzo, and I fell in love with Jorge Lorenzo's style because I ride a lot similar to what he does. I was like, wow, okay. Now at the moment, obviously, when the Binder Boys got to GP, I got to GP. I supported them. They've always, you got to support homeboys. And then, at the moment, Pedro Acosta being the newbie, I love the excitement he's brought back, like Mark Marquez did. So I'm watching him very closely because the whole rivalry thing, I think, is just something.
It's something. It's something we're really missing in our sport.
Yeah,
we don't have that rivalry no more, right? We don't have that shit talking, none of that no more. Everybody wants to be friends, which is okay, but we need that as fans, man. We want that.
Yeah,
we want
we
that
need the
rivalry
rivalry.
back. We need it. Yeah, and Pedro's starting to bring that back, and which is good. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So yeah, it's gonna be good stuff. Good stuff. So Savannah, what's life after racing?
I don't think there's ever life after racing.
Right?
I think I'll always be involved in racing with coaching, and I don't think I know anyone that's been involved in racing that just has stopped.
Yeah.
Some way or another.
Yeah.
Well, so good. After competing, it's coaching. I always stay involved in racing. It's been a part of my life forever. So
absolutely. What's your favorite color?
Purple.
Like it. I like it. I like it.
Okay, my superbike is in pieces at the moment, so unfortunately I can't show it to you at the moment. But my riding kit, everything's purple. It's always been purple crazy.
I like it. I like purple too. As you can tell, I got the green, the purple, and the pink in my logo. Well, mine and Jules. But yeah, it's good stuff. Colors, man, old school like 90 Kawasaki colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's something we're missing too in the market, right? Like everybody's got bland colors. We need that.
It must be bright and colorful.
Thank you. Even the rims, change them from black or gray. Bring something proper, like a pink and a purple one, or a bright orange and a yellow, or dude, change it up. Seriously.
Bring back Lumo colors.
Facts, please. Neo colors. Yeah, absolutely. So Savannah, preparing for battle is what I always call it on a motorcycle. Do you have any superstitions you do? Like, I think we lost her, but hang on. We'll get her back. We had a little internet interruption, I think. Hang on one second. Let me see. You guys just give us a second. Let's see. All right, she backed out. So I was going to send her a message, back out and come back in. Hang on, guys. Just give me a second. We're going to work this out. We're going to get through this together, as my buddy Richard always says. All right. Let's see. All right, now I'm just waiting on her to pop back in. And we will pick it right back up. So how here we go. Oh, device is not connected. Hang on. We will need to connect their mic before you can add them. What do you mean? Oh, here we go.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
My laptop turned off.
You're okay, Savannah. I figured it was something like that. It's happened to me before too, so no worries. I was trying to get you back in here. I was like, I'm trying everybody. Hang on one second.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Where was we at? We was at where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or no, what's life after racing? You said you'll never, you'll always be in it coaching, which is everybody's dream, right? To stay in the sport you absolutely give your whole life to. It's absolutely good stuff. Good stuff. So where do you see yourself in 5 years, Savannah?
Oh, in 5 years. Hopefully, my injury a few years back took me a few steps back with my competing. So hopefully I see myself back competing on a more professional level than just back here at home messing around when I can. So yeah, I hope to see myself back competing internationally again.
So, fellas, listen to me. You heard what she said. Savannah's coming back, and when she does, you guys are in trouble. So enjoy your time, because when she does, it's going to be a hard time. So you heard her here first, right? Yes, I love it. I love it. So, what's your favorite bike, Savannah?
Oh, my favorite bike. I must be honest. I've ridden the Predator, and that thing, it's crazy. It's something I enjoy, and it's the one that's in the 1,000, that can compete in the 1,000 category. You know, it for me it was something. It was climbing on a 1,000cc that rode like a 600. It had the handling of 600, so that's why I enjoyed it so much. I've ridden the ZX10s, and I've ridden an R1 before, and for me it was a bit difficult handling wise. I also the BMRR is something I find extremely stunning. It's a bike that I haven't ridden yet, but hopefully in the near future we're looking at being on one. So yeah,
that thing's a beautiful machine, that BMW. It's absolutely, every time I see one, it stops me in my tracks. I mean, it's yeah, I would love to have one. Maybe one day I will. You never know. One day. So Savannah, ask everybody this that races or rides in general. Do you have any superstitions at all? I think this is a question I was asking you right before we got cut off. Meaning that do you put your left boot on before your right boot, your left glove? Do you listen to certain music before you go out, prepare for battle? What's yours?
My one rule is, when you're at the track, never speak about crashing. I have seen so many friends and myself, you go, oh, how funny would it be to crash, or to crash on this corner, or crash like this, and you end up falling. When you're at the track riding, you don't talk about crashing. Like, it's just, that's something for after you, like, you can talk about crashing when you've done riding. If you're going to come to the track and ride, you don't talk about crashing, because you will end up in the kitty litter.
100%. 100%. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Well, Savannah, this has been absolutely a proper mega time. It's been an absolute honor to have you on. We're coming up almost an hour and 20 minutes. I told you to go by pretty quick.
Yeah.
So listen, before we get off here, I need you to stay on with me after I end this, but I need you to give your shout outs. Tell everybody how they can find you on social media, where they can follow you at. And along with that, Savannah, so a lot of my friends, I learned this from my British Superbike friends, that they all have a club. Like Juju's got a Club 40. My man, Jake Marsh has a Club 45. And do you have a club like that where people can sign up and help support you?
You can follow me on Facebook at Savannah #77 or Savannah _77. Savannah _.77. on Instagram, and you can contact me through that way. I haven't so far. My club is basically just my name on social media.
Okay. Well, good, Savannah. So you guys listen. You guys keep an eye out because she's coming back, and when she does, yeah, it's not going to be fun for you guys. So listen, Savannah, it's been an absolute honor. Before we get off here, I got to give my shout outs too as well. And one of them is actually to my mate right here, Jake Marsh. Need to get back on the podcast soon, bro. Absolutely, Jake. I will hit you up and we will make it happen. So big shout out to my man, Jake Marsh. He races in the BSB in the GP2 class, super mega fast, legend in the making, just like Savannah is right here. Absolutely. He has a club, Club 45. Please go sign up and join him. Help him out. Much love, much appreciation. Big shout out to my man Juju. First win in the British Talent Cup. Let's go. I was so excited, Savannah, when I found that out. I was screaming, oh my God. So big shout out to my man Julian Carrera. First win. Oh my God. I love you guys. Michael Carrera, the whole SFL mini GP. I just don't know what to say. Absolutely. But he has a club too, Club 40. Yeah, you guys go check him out. Go give him a like and a follow, as well as my man Jake. Big shout out to my man Ryan Wolf and the whole Wolf Pack in Moto America this weekend. His dad David, his mom Erica. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys. Ryan, you guys are absolutely. It was an honor to be there. This is his shirt. We got 2 second place finishes. It was such an emotional weekend for me. Absolute honor to be part of the journey. So thank you guys so much. Please go like and follow Ryan Wolf. He don't have a club yet, but it's something that we need to get. We need to get Ryan Wolf a club. So the whole thing about the club, Savannah, is let's say you have a club, whatever your race number is, let's say 28, right? Savannah Woodward Club 28. Sign up. You have 50 slots at out of those 50 slots, people pay whatever it is, $50, 50 US dollars or whatever. And with that, they get like a shirt or a hat, right? And then every race weekend, you have a drawing and you draw one name out of that. And then they win something signed from you. It's a knee puck or whatever, right? But it's a good way to get more fans involved. And it's a good way for you to earn extra income to help you support racing, because we all know it's not cheap at all. So, but anyway, big shout out to my man Robert Lackey and Tasha, everybody at Bison, man, all my friends. There's so many people I want to give a big shout out and thank you to that I met at Moto America and Moto GP this weekend. Listen, I love all you guys. Look, check this out, Savannah. Nothing but love to every single one of you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. This episode will be out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that good stuff tomorrow. I'm not on Apple yet, but I will be there soon. I need to get a new laptop actually before I can get on Apple. So boo to that, but one day I will be there. But I'm out everywhere else, people. But listen, this has been a lot of fun to come back. First time back after 2 weeks off. Absolute honor to have Savannah on. You guys keep an eye out because part 2 will be coming up. So yeah, listen, go follow Savannah. She's gonna get all them W's, and you boys are in trouble. You guys heard it here first. Look, I love it. She knows it. You know it. Yeah. So listen, guys, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for watching, commented. Please go like and subscribe on all the platforms you listen to me on. It helps me out a lot, and I greatly appreciate it. Again, nothing but much love to all you guys. There it is. Yes, let's go. Thank you so much. Until next time. Dude, Savannah,